And here we are. We are live right now, the first of hopefully many. What do we decide to call this again, Brian?
Oh man, we should have wrote down the shakedown. This is the shakedown.
Shakedown. So for those of you who maybe don't remember, we
Yep.
used to do a little show we like to call the Lowdown or Lowdown. And we would talk about results for
Yep.
pay-per-views. And, Brian and I would go through stats. We talk about what happened at the pay-per-view, but more so we would talk about how you did at the show. And we'd run down who was leading, who got the most points, and, kind of what our pick of the night was. And some of you may notice we still do that through our results page. But yeah, we thought we'd bring it back. But Brian, we wanted to do it in a little bit of a different way.
Yeah, we did. Our first show was back in 2009 at your house, Davis. It's hard to believe it's been 11 years, since we started to do the shows, and we've always, been in person doing the shows, and since now you live in Greensboro and I'm in Raleigh. Since I moved to Raleigh, it's been hard to do the shows in person, and we've always talked about missing the shows because I think the last time we did recaps was around 2012 or 13. And we wanted to bring the show back in a little bit of different format, which we'll get into in a minute. So here we are live, and the show is a shakedown.
Yeah. And, the funny thing is, like, we've talked about doing this for a couple of years now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the funny thing is, it only took a pandemic to actually make it happen.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah. Hopefully it doesn't take another one to do something else.
Yeah, that's true. But I think now is a perfect time to do something like this because, like, you and I have both expressed how things have changed for us, especially wrestling related. And I don't know who I've told this to, but I've mentioned it to a couple of people that if it wasn't for this group, if it wasn't for 10 Count Picks, I would not be watching wrestling right now. I love our group. I love our discussions. And that's kind of what led you and I to doing the Shakedown.
Yeah, I agree with you. If it wasn't for the 10 count group and whatnot, I don't know if I would watch wrestling either. Because wrestling has changed a lot, and that's something we'll get into in some later shows in comparison. But yeah, I mean, this group, even though we don't see each other, it does feel like a big family. And I've been doing this for since 2004, so it's just a big kind of family. And like you said, if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I would watch wrestling either. So it kind of keeps us in tune, and it's pretty cool. It's competitive, and it's most important. It's a lot of fun. So
exactly, and the thing about kind of doing something like this is, one, we love the discussions in our group, especially when pay-per-views are happening, people are talking about it, or even when it's not WWE, even though that's what we pick. People talk about AEW, people talk about New Japan and stuff like that, and that's the fun part is we're all wrestling fans at heart, and a lot of us do want to try new wrestling companies and see what else is out there and experience those other things. And kind of this group helps do that. But also, more importantly, like, we feel like it's more important now to develop our group dynamic and get to know each other because, as one of our members, Josh, pointed out a few weeks ago to me, used to back in the day, we would do little videos for members so everybody could get to know this person. So like I used to do the videos, and I would send this little questionnaire to someone. They would answer them, and then I put a little video together with music, and so that way other members could get to know them. And so this is another way for us to kind of bring the group together for you and I to, in this case, discuss wrestling and 10 count and how they kind of intertwine, and also do other things like we used to do and get to know each other and bring. Our idea is to, since we haven't really touched on it yet, Brian, we wanted to bring people together.
Yep.
And you and I love to discuss stuff. Like, that's our favorite thing to do is talk to each other and hear each other's side and then tell them why the other person's wrong. It's not. But we thought it'd be cool to kind of bring this back, but instead of doing results and talking about how so-and-so did and, how they're leading or, how they fell back or whatever, we would come back together and we would do a show talking about wrestling and how we feel and what's going on, and throw 10 count stuff in there, pepper that in a little bit, but also have you guys on and talk about, favorite moments, favorite things, or, how this affected you, how that affected you, and kind of, I don't know, make wrestling, how like that's how you and I, one of the reasons you and I became friends. That's the exact reason Aaron and I started talking in middle school, was because I
Yeah.
found out he liked wrestling. He found out I liked wrestling, and we've been friends ever since. So like wrestling brings people together, and so we kind of want to continue that trend.
Yeah, instead of doing just a show of me and you, which we'll have some, and we'll get into that. We're gonna have you all join in with us, some throughout the show or throughout the shows that we do, and we're gonna be interactive and talking about things, and we're gonna have a also like a trivia night. With wrestling trivia night, so we're going to have a lot of fun things ahead, and it's going to be really interactive, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. I'm really excited about trivia night, doing that. And some of these will be done through YouTube. Some of these will be done through Facebook. We want to do
Yeah.
some like watch alongs on Facebook, or, maybe on here, but on YouTube, but we would do it through, watching, something on WWE Network together, or maybe even watching pay-per-views. Bryan is
Yeah.
interested in that. And also he wants to do trivia night, which I think is fun. Maybe we're looking into Bryan, throwing some money at people and giving them surprises. He's loaded. I don't know if y'all know that.
I wouldn't go that far.
Okay, wouldn't go that far, but no, like have fun and do some trivia nights, and I don't know, like just have fun and try to get together. We used to see each other at wrestling events, and now the world has changed a little bit,
Yeah.
and so not sure when that's going to happen again. But we want to make sure that no matter what, we all still have fun with
Yeah.
wrestling. At least wrestling picks. Have fun with wrestling picks. Again, like I expressed earlier, it's the only reason I'm still watching wrestling is because I love this group. I love the competition. I love the smack talk, and I love the discussions that we have. Bottom line, and so we kind of want to keep that alive. And
Yeah.
my goal, as Bryan and I have talked, I almost shut down this season. A few weeks ago, I was over everything, but I want to get to season 20. And I feel like a good way to ensure that happens is to keep this community, alive and thriving, and, getting to know each other and building friendships. Because I know several people have made friends through this group, and one that comes to mind, obviously, you and I, Bryan, have been friends for a long time. I met Josh through this group because of
Yeah.
you. I know Darlene and Raymond are tag team in the Alliance, and they met through
Yeah.
this group, and they talk. And when they make picks, I've heard that they talk for a while.
Wow.
Not just making picks, but they talk about each other's lives and get to know each other. And that's what I love about this group, and that's what I hope this show, the Shakedown, continues to do. Not just discuss things and but to get to know each other and kind of, I don't know, have lively discussions.
Yeah, I look forward to it as well, and I think we're looking to do this once a month is what we're going to do. And like I said, 1 month we may do the trivia night, asking wrestling questions, and then the next month we'll do a discussion, something wrestling related, and we're kind of going on the fly here and learning as we go. So we'll have different topics each month, and at least probably 3 or 4 or 5 times a year we'll have everybody kind of come on to like a Facebook room or watch party, and then we'll be able to discuss and talk. And instead of just talking in the chat, we'll be able to talk here live, see everybody's face, and I think it'll be a lot of fun, and just a great time. So really look forward to that, and the Shakedown is going to be really cool. And Davis, I was wondering, I don't know if we can do the one thing I really loved about the other shows that we did. We always had a theme song. And I don't know if something we can do on here or not. If we'll look into that, we'll have to take people down memory lane. I don't know if we can show old content of videos we did, but that would be kind of fun, and to take people back, show them to the first few shows and throughout the Lowdown and Starstruck and other videos that we have done throughout the years would be fun as well, and to show where we've come from there until now.
Yeah, I mean, I think you bring up a good point. I know you and I have many times talked about rewatching some of the stuff we've done together.
Yeah.
And because like my girlfriend hasn't seen some of it, and I think you said Catherine had seen some of it, or no?
She has seen some. Yeah, she
And
has. Yeah,
so, like, I think it'd just be fun for, like, you were right, like, for us to go back and watch some of it and to kind of pick it apart, like, kind of see what we used to do and how we've changed and how far we've come,
yeah,
and kind of do things, like we learn from what we've done, but we've also had a lot of fun over the years doing this stuff, and that's why you and I wanted to come back and do this. And all day today, I've been excited about this.
yeah. Me too, man. Yeah, and like a lot of the newcomers and people that's only been around a couple years, even 3 or 4 or 5 years, probably don't even know that we did videos possibly. And now we can kind of share that with them and maybe even take a look back and let them see what we used to do as well.
Yeah,
Not sure if we want to show some people Starstruck. They may think we're crazy, but
you know,
it's a lot of fun.
it was a lot of fun, and especially Lowdown, which is where this show kind of came from. Like Lowdown was something you and I did, like, which I can't believe is 2009. Like that blows my mind.
Yeah.
First off, kudos to you for remembering that and doing the research on that. But like, those shows, they were fun and we tried to keep them short, but they always amounted to a lot of work because stuff wouldn't work properly, or we couldn't get
Yeah.
videos to upload to YouTube because the internet was
Yeah.
so slow and so many trouble. But we always had fun doing it. We always, and
Yes.
even before we did YouTube videos and videos in general, we would go all out for pay-per-views. When like we had our first pay-per-view at your house, like we made a poster. I came over
Yes.
just
Yeah.
sole fact of figuring out how we would fit everybody into your house.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this will have to be some conversations I think we have on the show is talk about, just that, some of the things that we went through with old shows or having the first pay-per-view at my house and the poster. We can have some stories like that we share on this show as well. So I think it'll be fun to kind of, like I said, take ourselves and other people back through memory lane. And all the way back to middle school was when we started this in 8th grade, 2004, and that is just hard to believe. And here we are, 2020, and still going strong, and it's pretty awesome. And
Exactly.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped as well, man. I'm pumped as well. I love doing videos. It's like an adrenaline or something. And really, I've told Catherine many times, that I miss it. And she's like, well, y'all need to do something and have it on YouTube or whatever. And so here we are, and we're excited. Hope viewers excited as we are, and to come along this journey with us.
Exactly. Season 17 is here, and we're trying to bring back. Well, it's not bringing back, but it's kind of I don't know.
Twist, kind of.
Yeah, a reemergence of.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so we're going to kind of cut it off here and see how things go, but we want to give you a little preview of what's to come next month, which is June, a couple of days from now.
Yeah.
We plan on doing a full-fledged show, kind of talking about some things that we want to talk about and see what you think of it. And I don't know, it's fun. We hope you join us, and until next time, keep the
shakedown something. I don't know. We got to work on that. Keep the shakedown shaking, maybe. We'll work on that. We'll have that for the next show. But yeah, we'll post it in the chat what time we're going to do the show and the link and all that. We'll have that information for you. It'll be sometime next week, maybe Monday night. So you can watch us instead of Raw. Maybe Monday night, maybe later in the week. But we look forward to it, and we hope to see you next week here on The Shakedown.